Hi everyone, if you are watching this video, you are wanting to learn a little bit more about preparing for the upcoming design career fairs. My name is Dianne Hull. I work in career services and I work on the team that works with graduate students and postdocs, and I am here to share with you everything that you might need to know about the design career fair. So this is what we're going to talk about today. And the one thing that I wanted to make sure everyone knew is at the very end of this video, you will see a QR code with the links to these slides with all of the hyperlinks. So there is no need for you to write everything down. If you watch until the end, you should be able to pull up the QR code and you can get all of the links to the different items that I'm sharing with you today. So we're going to talk about the design career fairs, both virtual and in person. We're going to talk about action items, things that you can be doing now to prepare for the fair. Things that I want you to know to maximize your experience at the fair, day of tips, how to make the most of career fairs in general, and resume books. I know that lots of students are interested in submitting their resumes to the resume books, and I'm here to share that information with you today. So there are two design career fairs this year, and we are going to be speaking about both of them. When you get the QR codes, you can click here to see all career fairs that Career Services is hosting, but the ones we are talking about today are the in-person design career fair on Thursday, February 8th from 12 to 4 in Houston Hall, and the virtual design career fair, which is held virtually on Tuesday, February 13th from 12 to 4 p.m., hosted on Handshake. So things that you need to do in order to participate in the in-person career fair. Register now. This will allow you to be notified when new employers are registered to attend. What you want to bring with you, your pen card, paper copies of your resume if you would like to share them, a verbal introduction about you and your experiences and interests, and questions for these employers that are attending, which we will be chatting about in a moment. For the virtual design career fair held on Tuesday, February 13th, you must first register for the fair before you can sign up to meet with employers. Registration opens on Friday, February 5th at 12 noon. And you will want to sign up on February 5th for both one-on-one sessions and group sessions, which we'll chat about in a moment. Things that you can be doing now: upload your resume to Handshake, make it and your profile public. Be ready prior to the fair to give an introduction to you and your experiences and bring questions for employers. Here's a quick visual for those of you who have not been to a career fair before to tell you a little bit about a traditional career fair in Houston Hall. It will take place in 2 rooms. It will take place in Bodeck Lounge, which is on the first floor, and it will take place in the basement in Hall of Flags. So there will be 2 different rooms with employers. The virtual career fair is wherever you choose to have your laptop. So that is your choice. So best practices for the in-person fair: pre-work. Bring a resume with you. There may be 2 different kinds of resumes that you might think about. One would be a general resume for any type of role, and the second would be a more targeted resume for a specific role. Look at the employers ahead of time on Handshake. See what jobs they have posted. If they have posted a job, they have linked it to their career fair registration. Do research into the organization. Know a little bit about them. Know what questions you want to ask. You can upload your resume to the resume book, which we'll be talking about at the end. We will share with you ahead of the fair a map of which employers are where. Take a look at this map ahead of time and be strategic about where you'd like to wait in line. Some employers are very popular and you can wait in line for quite a few minutes. Others you'll be able to walk right up to, and so you want to be very strategic. Allow enough time for you to see the employers that you want to see. The fair ends at 4 p.m. and so don't show up at 3:30. Show up a little bit earlier so that you can have plenty of time to see the employers. When you arrive at the fair is mask optional. It's up to you. Shaking hands is also optional. It's up to you if you would like to do that. Definitely smile. You want to be a friendly and approachable person. Think a little bit about preparing an introduction. Who are you? What kind of relevant experience might you have to share with an employer? What do you know about them as an employer? What do you know about the positions that they may have advertised? And importantly, convey interest and enthusiasm. Absolutely ask them questions. That's what they're there for. A great question is, can you share with me more information about what type of candidate you're looking for, what sort of skills you might be looking for? Don't ask them what they do. You can find that online ahead of time, and that should be part of your prep work. After you go through the fair, you're going to want to think a little bit about how you're going to want to follow up. 4 things you want to think about. Reiterating your interest in proposed next steps, right? If you know they have a job that they have posted, you want to tell them that you're applying. Ask them at the fair, what's the best way to keep in touch? Is it okay if I email you? Consider, when possible, sending a brief thank you email. If you have a really good conversation with an employer at the fair, you absolutely want to send them a thank you. And think a little bit about the information that you have gained by meeting with the employer in person that might help you write a better resume or might make you answer interview questions better in the future. Some hot tips for the virtual career fairs. A couple of things. How does it work? You must register for the fair first. Again, you cannot register until February 5th at 12 p.m. When you go in on February 5th at 12 p.m., you are going to see employers offering you two different ways to meet with them. One are one-on-one sessions. Those are 10 minutes long. It is you and the employer. And there are group information sessions, 30 minutes long, right? You and up to maybe 50 different students who might be in a Zoom room together, learning a little bit more about an employer. You cannot just show up to the virtual fair on Handshake that day and expect to meet with employers. You need to schedule everything ahead of time. When you go in on February 5th, I would highly recommend that you schedule one-on-ones first, because those are often more limited, and then you can go in and sign up for the group sessions. Even though registration opens on February 5th, I would continue to check back. Employers will recognize they're very popular. They may add additional sessions. Students may cancel. So continue to look and see what opportunities there might be. Some perks of attending a virtual career fair. No lines, no time constraints. You can schedule in advance. Gives you a lot of time ahead of time to really prepare. The one-on-one discussions are really scheduled with a specific person. You'll be able to see who that person is that you're meeting with, and without distractions. You don't have to worry about people waiting in line behind you. Group info sessions are really helpful because you can certainly listen without the pressure of having to have a one-on-one. And you don't have to manage anything like coats. You don't have to worry about snow or bad weather. So really very helpful. So how do you get involved? You're going to want to go on to Handshake. And you will see here for the virtual career fair, registration opens on February 5th. So you definitely want to take a look at that. Couple of things that I want to show you about updating your Handshake profile. These are things that you can be doing now in advance of the fair. So take a look at updating your Handshake profile. You want to definitely update your profile and update your settings. The settings are going to show whether you're going to be making things public, whether you're making things private. If you're on the job search, I would absolutely recommend that you make things public. Check your basics about your graduation date, what school year, what major, what GPA you are. You can also think a little bit about making sure that all of your information is correct from your previous academic institutions as well. While you're here, update your interests. You can take a look at job types, locations, roles, industries, and all the other basics that you want to take a look at to make sure. Many employers will specifically say that they only want to get applications from students who meet certain criteria. So school year is going to be very important. Gender and pronouns is going to be really important for when you're interacting with employers later in person or virtually. Definitely you want to check on your privacy and your work authorization. Again, I would really recommend that you make things as public as you feel comfortable. It will help employers to find you. Next, you want to upload your resume. This will allow employers to potentially see your resume, and it will make it much, much easier for you to apply to jobs if you see a job posted in Handshake that you want to apply. So once registration opens, February 5th at 12 p.m., you can register for one-on-one and group sessions. I'm going to share a few slides with you that show you what you're going to see. These are not actual employers who are coming to the design career fair because it's not open yet. So this is another virtual fair that we have some screenshots of. So you'll see up here at the top, you're going to see 3 different areas: available sessions, your schedule, and career fair details. Click on available sessions. That's going to show you everything that might be available for that day. When you click on your schedule, it will show you what you've already signed up for. Then you can see that in this case, there are one-on-ones available, and you can choose, if they have more than one recruiter, you can choose which recruiter you might like to meet with. So you can select that as well as selecting the time. If you want to sign up for group sessions, you will see them. Sometimes they're listed as panels, sometimes they're listed as group sessions, depending. They do generally end with a Q&A session. Employers do get a list of all the students who were actively involved and who participated, so I would recommend you stay till the end. A few best practices. 1, avoid scheduling back-to-back sessions if possible. You will need to be on time. And if you are late to a session, they will not be able to give you extra time. So I highly recommend that when you go in and schedule your individual one-on-one sessions, do not schedule them back to back. You need a little bit of time. Group sessions are excellent. Be open-minded when you evaluate employers. Check out employers that you don't know anything about. It's a perfect way to find out more. Again, check back to see availability. Students will cancel, employers will add things. Before you participate in the virtual fair, be sure that you identify a good space with good lighting. Dress in semi-professional attire. You should be in good shape if you are dressed in semi-professional attire. I don't think you need to wear a suit. During one-on-one sessions, be on time. You can absolutely enter video sessions 5 minutes early, but do not be late, because if you are 2 minutes late to your 10-minute session, then you're only going to get 8 minutes. Introduce yourself, smile, ask good questions, take notes on the conversation and the name to which you're speaking, inquire about next steps, ask them for their email. Really monitor your time. Be mindful that there are other students who are waiting for the next session after yours, so leave time for wrapping up at the end. Here are some technical considerations. Chrome and Firefox are the recommended browsers. When you take a look, you can do a network test here. You may want to think about having a link ready to your resume to show employers, and be aware that after the fair, employers have access to your resume when they download a list of participants that they met with. So be sure to make your resume public. Be aware of your sound settings, so muting and unmuting. There are some great video resources that Handshake has provided for you here to learn a little bit more about attending a virtual fair. So I highly recommend that prior to your registration and prior to the fair, you take a look at these videos and lessons that Handshake has. Again, these are all hyperlinked in a QR code at the end of today's session. Action steps. Again, really take a look at deadlines. Every year the fair opens and there will be certain employers that fill up quickly, so be mindful of that. Updating your profile, make your profile visible to employers, update your resume, find a good place to have a good quiet virtual fair, select an outfit, and review and research the list of employers who are registered. So how is a career fair helpful? You may feel like, I'm not ready to start looking. Why would I go to a career fair? Any student interested in the design career fields should attend this fair, and I'm here to tell you why. You do not have to be looking for a job or internship to attend. Employers are really anxious to speak to you. They have paid to attend this fair, and they really want to get to know you, and they want to have engaging conversations. So really pay attention to the employers that are interested and you want to learn more about. The more conversations you have now, the more they will be likely to recruit on campus in the future when perhaps you may be job hunting. If you want to learn more, you can ask questions. If you don't know if your background is a good future fit, you can certainly ask them that. If you want to apply for a role, you can take whatever you have learned at a career fair and improve your resume and improve your interviewing later. After participating in a fair, you can think a little bit about what skills maybe you're lacking and that you want to gain while you're here at Penn. Write good resumes. You can think about people that you've met at a career fair that you might drop their name into a cover letter or into an interview. Some of the people attending the fair will be alumni. They may be interested in following up with you for informational interviewing, and you can think about next steps for future networking. This is our informational interviewing guide that will really, really help you in terms of trying to figure out what types of questions you might ask, and that's going to help you write a really solid resume. Here are some sample questions that you might ask at career fairs. You can ask questions about the timing of applications, about what types of skills they're looking for. What is it that you think if they're an alum, what sort of courses did they take that were helpful? Lots of questions here. Talking to people is really going to help you, and I've highlighted this in red, what skills and experience are valued. This is going to help you write your resume. Anything that you learn at a career fair, you can turn around and help you write a more customized and more effective resume. Resumes really need to illustrate skills in action, and attending a career fair and asking questions will help you to figure out what kind of skills they value. Getting your resume ready now in 3 steps, 3 things that I think you all need to do. Design students absolutely need to be looking at this. Effective resumes for design students. We in Career Services created this guide specifically for design students. It has sample resumes of real Weitzman students, and we'll walk you through each section that you need to have on your resume. So absolutely, this is the first step for any student who is working on their resume. Second step, have your resume reviewed by Career Services. You do not want to come to a career fair, or submit your resume to the resume book without first having your resume reviewed. 3 different ways you can do that. We have peer career advisors who have virtual 20-minute long appointments available from now through the fair. You can schedule a same-day advising appointment with a career advisor or schedule an individual career advising appointment to have your resume reviewed. How to schedule an appointment: log into your Handshake account, click on Career Center, then Appointments, then Schedule a new appointment. Then you're going to click on Resume and Cover Letter Review, and it will select the type of appointment that you would like to schedule. Probably the easiest appointment to get these days is with a peer career advisor, and I highly recommend that you do that soon so that you can be sure to get your resume reviewed both before the fair and before you submit it to the resume book. Now, the last thing you're going to do is upload your resume to the resume book. They open on Monday, January 22nd, and close on January 31st at 12 p.m. There is absolutely no advantage to having your resume in the first day. It just needs to be in by the deadline. So take the time to get your resume ready. You can visit our Design Career Fair student page in order to take a look at where you're going to submit your resume. There are different types of resume books available. So if you're looking for an internship or a full-time job in different fields, you're going to see different ways in which you can submit your resume. Be sure to take a look at that. Employers will have access to the resume books 1 week prior to the fairs. And so again, deadline January 31st, 12 p.m. Absolutely no advantage to being first out of the gate. The employers won't see the books until after the books close. Resources. I promised you a QR code. Here is the QR code that will take you to the slides from today's program, and this will show you all of the hyperlinks that you need to access the resources that I mentioned today. Again, we look forward to seeing you on February 8th at the in-person career fair in Houston Hall, or virtually on February 13th. Check out our website to learn all of the information that you need. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Have a great one.